Okay, we will call the Public Improvements and Infrastructure meeting to order. All three districts are present. Notice the meeting was properly posted on April 11th, 2025. Item number 1, is there a motion to approve the minutes of March 24th?
I move to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Sorry.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item number 2.
Number 2, we don't have any changes, but we have a new member on the board, so I thought I'd explain a little bit about the TIFs.
Go right ahead.
We have some TIF agreements with the city, between the city and the county, whereby they'll reimburse us on certain projects. TIF 2 is almost over. We've only got about $200,000 worth of reimbursement coming. TIF 2A, we've got about $3 million coming, but it comes very slowly because the project has to develop, be built, and then reimbursed. So you'll hear me 90% of the time saying no changes.
Okay. Item number 3, capital improvements list.
And that is similar. We track ongoing projects. There's a report attached to your agenda where you can see. And we have some projects that are anticipated that the commissioners really want to build, just waiting for some money to fund them. And then we've got a list that needs to be built, but there's just not going to be any money anytime soon, so they're under an archive category. But we do track all of our capital projects that have been identified.
Okay. Item number 4, discussion possible action, engage services for redesign of the courthouse 9th floor HVAC system.
I put this on the agenda. Referring back to that capital project schedule, the 9th floor HVAC is shown to design start date of March 25th and has a fee of $35,000 associated with it. Keith, I was going to have you come forward if you don't mind. Also, Stacy, and just engage in the conversation. If that's still a good figure for us to move forward with, and ideas for it says funding from PBA, but just what thoughts you have on that, because I know you had been moving forward down a different track, but now we're back on this track again. So just
let me explain for the benefit of Mr.
Yeah.
Pettis being new. So the 9th floor some years ago of the courthouse was completely gutted and rebuilt, built out to accommodate District 2's offices, the witness center, and then other offices that were associated with that group, the district attorney. At that time, air conditioning systems were installed, and we've had problems ever since. We've had to use portable HVAC units to try and keep the temperatures reasonable there. That's not worked. At the time this happened, we had facilities had people on staff who could have performed some of the repair or replacement work. I don't have that any longer. There are a couple of different approaches we can take to replacing that system. We have chilled water and steam available in that area, or we can use split systems. In any event, the economic conditions today would trigger, I'm certain, a $150,000 number by which we're required to engage an architect for design services. This $5,000 is a beginning down that road, hiring a technical consultant to help us determine the best course of action. So that's what this is about. And I think $5,000 is a good beginning. I don't have any idea as to what this would cost moving forward or the time required. necessary to procure equipment and make the installation. This is a huge disappointment to me, and I think it drives home the adage: you do the job right one time, it doesn't cost us money to come back and fix things again. So that's a that's a tough one for me. Anyway, I think the $5,000 is a good beginning, and we'll move forward trying to get some help.
You got the funds to move forward just with the $5,000 design, is that correct?
I would think that would come out of the commissioner's
General capital fund?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. And so that, do y'all have any, I'm sorry, you're the chairman, I didn't mean to.
Oh, go right ahead.
If no one has any questions, I would move to go ahead and expend $5,000 out of the commissioner's capital fund to start the design of this process and see how to move forward properly.
I'll second. Hold on, that that dollar amount, I don't know what that relates to. You know, if you're gonna hire a designer, it's about 10% of the construction cost. If you're gonna do a preliminary study before you hire a designer, that's kind of an unknown cost, but I don't think 5 is gonna be enough.
That's where we'll begin. And the first question is to ask different contractors, ask different experts whether or not we're better off in the long term using chilled water and steam, or whether or not we go back with a mini split system for those offices up there and put condensing units on the 10th floor.
I like the conceptual idea. I just don't know about the limiting the dollar amount.
So what dollar, up to what dollar amount would you recommend, Stacy? And do you
Do
like
we have
that?
to set one? I mean,
Yeah, we're not leaving it open-ended.
okay. Well, I'll do, it's Keith's area of expertise.
I mean, we're going to wind up spending way more money than this, and the $5,000 is just the tip of the iceberg. But at least that sum will get us some answers so we can determine how we want this to be designed and what type of system we want to utilize, and again, help us determine what to do so we do this only one time.
So Keith, if you feel like you can get traction with 5,000, Stacy, if you're comfortable starting that way, I'll reserve the right to come back to the board and as depending what he finds on this exploration, to ask for more funding. We think that's a prudent way to proceed at this point. Does that sound good?
Just keep in mind, and Stacy's right, everything we have encountered with every project we've undertaken has always been underestimated. And even after we get hard pricing, things change, and so we suffer in that way. So just keep in mind, you think about a $5,000 figure or $15,000 or $20,000 figure, this project will be several $100,000 in scope.
Well, and just for the original bond scope of the 30 million, I'm sorry, of the 15 million that we were looking at doing that we've drawn down on, $350,000 was in that original package proposal for us to spend on this project.
Okay. And you'll come back to us later with the amounts for the 2 options that we're looking at?
We'll have to go to bid for that, but we'll have professional estimates on not only what direction to take, but what this is going to cost us, and also an estimate as to the timeline to completion.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go back and second the motion again.
Okay.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope. Motion passes. Okay, number 5, owner's rep report on ARPA projects. Where's Bill today?
Bill's on vacation. Took a little time off.
Poor guy.
So I'm filling in. The elevators, as we've been reporting, the Annex, Metro, and ICB elevators, the submittals have been approved, and the elevators have been ordered. The change order for the expediting the schedule is finalized and being processed. The remaining juvenile justice center elevator, along with the courthouse elevator they're close to finalizing those submittals.
Those are the only two that haven't been ordered yet, correct? Correct. Okay, thank you.
Quick question, what's the timeline?
For the actual install or just
They actually install?
well, they're going to complete, I believe the expedited schedule was to complete in November of 2026.
Stacy, you know, don't you? On
Yeah, it's November 2026.
Clerk, social distancing. Of course, we know construction has begun. Abatement requirements are being defined. We're proceeding with the original design floor.
So you're not raising it up?
Correct. It was a budget issue.
Okay.
However, we're in the process of trying to finalize the electrical requirements to help us better understand utilizing the duct in the floor to make sure that's going to work. And we're hoping between last Thursday and this Thursday that the engineer and the electrical engineer and the architect have those defined and be presenting those in the Thursday meeting. Stairs and elevator lobby change order is being reviewed. And as far as the schedule, it's still on schedule to complete in February 2026.
on those electrical ducts, I can't remember what you call the electrical ducts that are already in the floor.
Walker ducts.
Walker ducts, but those were not in the original design. Is that correct?
No, that's how it was bid originally.
So they bid originally using the Walker ducts
Yeah.
because they were balking at that in the meeting on Thursday, if I was right.
Well, what they were balking at was making sure that that was going to work, and they really weren't confident that the electrical, what they needed electrically would fit in there, and so
Right.
that's what they're trying
I
to.
understand that, but that was in the original design, was using the Walker ducts, correct?
Yeah, there
Okay.
was no other, no other option.
Okay, thank you.
The annex security front entrance, as we've known for a while, the first through fourth phases of the abatement are complete. Well, actually, first through the fifth phase is complete. We believe we have a direction forward with removing the asbestos that we found in the layer of sheetrock that's on the existing wall that needs to be removed, and we presented that to Stacy last week. So we're hoping that we get that process and move back moving forward with the lobby area. On the exterior west end, we've got the ramp and stairs completed, and we're waiting the handrails for that.
Is that all that's left? Just the handrails out there and pouring the remaining? What's going in on the other side of the ramp out there? Just back to level concrete? Is that right? Okay.
Quick question, Stacy, did we receive any assistance for the Brownfields program dealing with the asbestos?
We haven't made any application for brownfields for that issue.
Why?
I don't think we understood that we could get brownfield money for asbestos in this building. It's the first I'm hearing of it.
I mean, since this is a government building, I think we should have looked at receiving some assistance from the city of Oklahoma City. I think in the future, I think we should look at receiving some assistance from the city of Oklahoma City when it comes to brownfield sites. This should have been a brownfield site.
Okay, we will definitely follow up on that.
Okay.
That brings us to the Behavioral Health Services Facility. We've started dirt work out there. They've got their trailers mobilized, power, plumbing, and Wi-Fi all set up. So White Associates will be setting up there here in the near future. They have identified some areas out there with unsuitable soil, and so we're working through those recommendations.
Can you be a little bit more specific on that? What do you mean by poor or unsuitable soils?
There's a couple areas that are very wet and aren't meeting compaction, and so it looks like we're going to have to figure out how. And it's probably because it might have been an old salt pond or something way back. We don't know, but we're trying to get with standard testing to figure out how to remediate that. So
How large an area are we talking about?
I would say it's probably 50 by 50 yards.
Okay.
But things are progressing out at the behavioral health facility. On the existing jail HVAC, we're progressing there, wrapping up the 10th and 11th floor, and I actually think we'll move down to the 1st and 2nd floor in the coming week. We have the engineers report for their recommendation on the issue with resolving or making sure that the coils at each of the units, when a life safety event is alarmed, that especially during the winter, that it does not freeze up. And we received that early last week, and I'm just trying to get with all the parties to sit down and review that and see what the path forward is.
So yeah, United Mechanical will have a report once you get everybody together, correct? Report back. Okay.
Yeah.
Stacy, do you have anything to add on behavioral health at all?
Well, the soil just will not dry up, so it's got to be a high groundwater table or a old salt pond that no one knew was there. We're not sure yet, but we're looking for the best solution to deal to how to get that dried up, whether it's undercut and bring in material or add gravel or geogrid. All that's being investigated. But these are unforeseen conditions that happen on a lot of projects, and it seems to happen to us every time.
Okay.
That's all I have. Unless anybody has any other questions.
Any other questions?
I don't have any now.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
I'll move to receive report.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, item number 6, discussion possible actions, present an update on the meeting of the Citizens Oversight Advisory Board. This seems to be on here every time when
It's an ongoing
they are
item.
not present. Is this something we should just remove from the agenda?
Well, you usually want to hear a report when they do meet. They haven't met for a couple of months, but they're going to meet the 22nd of this month.
Okay. All right. Okay. Item 7, discussion possible action regarding selling mineral rights in Oklahoma County. Stacy.
Commissioners have been approached by a company here in the state that does this quite a bit, wanting to buy your mineral rights. You wouldn't be able to sell it to them directly. You'd have to put it out for bid so that everybody would have a chance to bid on it. you make about roughly $40,000-$50,000 a year in oil interests. The commissioners do every year. So that's what you can expect going forward if you reject this idea. If you want to look into this further, you obviously want to get a lot of money in advance, so you'd have a minimum bid out there. And then I don't know what other minerals that we have under our lands, and what their values are. So this would be quite an undertaking. But the request did come in, so this is where it starts for you three to think about what you might want to do with it.
Any comments?
Yeah, so they're requesting for all of the rights, is that right?
Yes.
When was the last time that this came up or addressed this?
I think this is the second time I've seen it since I've been here.
Okay. All right.
It was rejected 15 years ago, so we just decided to keep our.
Which makes sense to me. I think we could visit with each of our commissioners and see, and then if so, bring it back. I wouldn't advise any action at this time, but open to other suggestions.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'd prefer to get the commissioners' comments on it first.
Okay, I'll move to receive Stacy's report.
I'll second. Oh, go ahead.
And receive the document if that's so needed.
All's in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So that's about it for this one. Any participation? Seeing none, any board comments or new business?
I just would welcome John.
Good to be
No
All
other
right,
comments.
is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Good. All right, we'll call the Public Building Advisory Committee to order. All three districts are present. Notice the meeting was properly posted on April 11th, 2025. Item number 1, is there a motion to approve the minutes of March 24th?
I'll move to approve the minutes.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Item 2, ARPA capital projects.
Good morning again. On the emergency ops, schedule is progressing nicely. The exterior panels and structure are erected. Of course, working on the interior activities currently. 37th Street path forward appears to be September of 2025.
Yes.
And as far as the schedule goes, everything will looks to be within the required guidelines. For the elevators, as I reported earlier, the ICB elevator and Metro 1 and 2 elevators, those have been ordered. So we're just waiting for those to arrive. And on the ICB remodel, we've discovered positive tests for asbestos in the basement floors and window caulking. I think it was continuing the demolition, basement investigation, I believe is starting this week, or excuse me, next week, but will be complete April 22nd. Yeah, and the schedule remains within the guidelines of the.
Does everything in the basement still look pretty good? I mean, with the exception of those, what is it, 5 columns?
Until we further investigate, yeah. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you very much. Is item 2 and 3 referring to the same thing, pretty much? Okay. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
And Paul, what was your question?
If items 2 and 3 were pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
are.
just that, Mike was doing the reporting.
Okay.
Just Stacy just deferred to, Bill White and
We
Associates.
probably scratch 2 off their future meetings.
Okay, you don't feel the need to keep it. I'll move to strike item number 2.
I'll second. I did. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Keith, Investors Capital, exterior.
We'll defer to the others rep for both items, interior and exterior.
Okay.
You want to keep these on though? Okay.
Okay. Looks like that's about it. Any participation? Seeing none, any board comments, new business?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.